Welcome once again to the Gulenko.com Recruitment and Business Show. I record these while walking, usually after the gym. Alright, resumes, CVs, Lebensläufe, however you call the things that are usually PDFs that represent or should represent your past, they are the first step when you apply for a job, for a contract as a freelancer, and they are quite important because they will be used to judge whether to even speak to you. So the first impression really matters. Your name is the first impression. It is usually at the very top of this mysterious PDF, and it is either a name that is recognizable in the country where you live or not. I will start with the biggest problem about names. Foreign names, right? My name, Iwan Gulenko, in Switzerland is not very common. If I want to have a chance when applying for jobs in a country that is dominantly German speaking, I need to put below my name that my German is on native level and that I have a work and residence permit. I really cannot stress this point enough. People are completely brainwashed by other topics, what is important on their CV. This simple thing already will put you ahead of so many other people. If you have a name which is common in the location where you live, Andreas Müller, for example, would be one of them in Switzerland, then you do not have this problem. However, you should not be, like angry about this or in any way feel discriminated against, because there is no time for feeling, discriminated against, angry, disappointed. If you are job looking, you have to live in reality, right? You cannot live in a dream world where it's like, well, the people, like I am Iwan Gulenko, I live in Switzerland for 10 years. Well, I can just, expect the people look it up that I have like a track record of working there. It's obvious that I have a work permit because this is like what you get after 5 years living there, a residence permit, I mean. Sure. But why would I do that? Why would I make the life of the reader of the resume, the essential person or people I'm marketing to, life so difficult? Another aspect would be my name sounds like a name which is now very common among people, unfortunately, having to relocate within Europe, right? I hate to say it, but there is always a, let's say, not the most positive reaction towards people that have to relocate for, reasons like war or other things. It is how it is, right? And I tell you a story from a business owner lady that is like super successful in Switzerland. She has an Italian name and she's already not the youngest. So she would tell me, well, me with my Italian name in the 60s in Switzerland, we would be extremely discriminated against because like this Italian immigrants, they would just have a bad reputation because some of them wouldn't behave well, and the local population would hate immigrants that, don't behave well. And the only thing that solved that, you will laugh now, were other immigrants coming right after. A big wave of other also, I believe, war-related immigration. And then the hate towards the Italian population in Switzerland went away because other immigrants were hated more. What I'm saying here, you will not hear on any recruitment HR show, social media posts, because nobody wants to talk about this. Everybody said we have to be like tolerant and not discriminate, blah, blah, blah. They say that, but they still do it. We do not live in a fantasy world. We live in the real world. If you met 5 people with blue hair and they were all in some way not like, your favorite people, the 6th person who comes with blue hair, you will have a Pavlovian reaction to them. So if a recruiter sees 20 foreign names and 19 out of them don't speak the local language and you get, the recruiter gets number 21, obviously the motivation to talk to this person will be lower. Nobody will tell you that. Nobody will admit to that. It will be like that. Another example would be like if you get a resume and the picture of the person is like, no, you see, this is like an older person, let's say above 50. Because in Switzerland, the pension contribution is like double or something ridiculous for people above 50. So apart from the usual reason to discriminate against old people, like, oh, they cannot pick up like new stuff and so on and cannot think anymore, or whatever people will say, which is obviously a big way to discriminate against people, but nobody cares about old people these days. So what happens is you see the old picture and you're like, will we interview this person? Like everybody does that. In-house recruiters, agency recruiters, this is the world we live in. And the only way you as an old person or with a foreign name person like me, you can do is to make it super easy to understand that no, you have all the check boxes ticked. You know the language required for the job, you have a work permit, so you can actually start from the get-go because nowadays nobody wants to, train people and stuff. Okay, this is like a lot of stuff I told in the last 7 minutes, but it already is much more important. And you should say that you sold 50 pence in 1 week and contributed to the profit margin, blah, 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 blah. Sure, this is all important, but what I told you now is way more important than the other stuff because this will be looked at first. All right, so the name, in Switzerland they put a picture, some don't. I think a picture is easier that you remember the person. This is a matter of taste. I really think a resume is a marketing document, so if you have a good, nice, or any picture really, I mean for IT jobs definitely, that is not completely weird, it will do. It's just that I remember you. It should not make you somehow special or something like that. So resume, most boring document. I want to know what you did for the last 5 years. This is like the purpose number 1 of a resume. Number 2, that I do not forget you. So a picture serves purpose number 2. All right. Phone number, location. This is another thing in the remote world. People say work. No, if the job is somewhat hybrid, put the city, the street, or something nobody really cares. But the city and the phone number, the city, so I know where are you, and phone, so if I really like you, I will call you within like 30 milliseconds, so believe me that. And every good recruiter will behave in the very similar way. Oh, this is annoying, don't call me, blah, blah, blah. Man, woman, yeah, do you want the job or not? Okay, so then the job comes usually after. Usually those research people, they put the education there. I don't like this in the, it's non-education world, so job experience, last job. Okay, what is in the last job? What did you do? But before we come to that, actually another important topic, job gaps. Like there should be either none, obviously, or they should be explained if they're longer than 3 months. People will ask anyway. So you have, let's say, the last 3-4 jobs or companies. Put the job gaps explicitly. What happened? If there is an implicit job gap of 1 year, actually HR ladies, recruiters don't know. They will not know. They will ask themselves, is this person, they treated their old sick mother, or they were an alcoholic for 1 year? Like what happened? Or they traveled the world. So really, if you do not put this information, it will be assumed that you made a mistake on your resume. The algorithm with recruiters works. Always the worst possible thing will be assumed of you. Then you might think, well, but this is unfair, haha, then you lose me and my awesome skills if you're so dumb that you can't read the resume, like I don't need your, stupid job anyway. Okay, sure, again, I'm now talking to people in this show who actually want a job and the best compensation possible and the quickest way possible to find a job where they can make the most amount of money. If you're not that, please stop listening to this show, okay? This is not for you. You can go sit on unemployment money forever. I don't care. Okay, this show is for people who want to use their skills to make more money or just have an interesting career. Okay, so I assume everybody who's not that just switched off. Bye. Okay, so the job gaps are everything that is surprising. There should be actually nothing, right? Everything that could be surprising in your career should be stated in a written form. Right? If this is missing on the CV, actually us as recruitment consultants from Gulenko.com, we do this for you. We highlight the stuff that the let's say, reader, our clients will have. So the questions they might have. This is what we do, like for money, for the last 10 years, for like, I don't know, this is always the same stuff, so no surprises, right? And the job gap, please highlight, like really, if it's like highlight the job gap. It should be there. What did you do? Okay, good. Then a funny thing about AI, artificial intelligence. I want to highlight this too. This thing with the job gaps. So we are building a tool called resumerodeo.com, and this is one of the hardest things to actually read the resume and then have the job gaps extracted properly. This seems never to work like we wanted. So right now, still like, human people, it sounds trivial, right? It's like, okay, the one job is ending in July 22 and the next one is starting in like October 22. Like, why can't you like make an algorithm like find this out? Okay, if anybody figured this out, please like let me know. Okay, so this is the topic, reading AI-based, stuff. I'll come back to that later. So, okay, job gaps, then you have the last, professional experience, like highlighted, pointed out, whether you should put like jobs that are unrelated. I would say yes. I mean, I just want to know your whole career. If you worked as a barista like 10 years ago, this is also kind of interesting, right? But now if you, let's say, apply for a software engineering job and you worked 5 years as a Python developer, then the next 5 years as a full stack Python React developer. So you have 10 years of experience, and prior to that, you did something else. Why not put it? I mean, I can scroll the PDF. I don't care. So this is the really most important stuff. Again, at the top, like, who is this person? Can they actually legally work in this country? Are they like, 5 minutes away by bus, or I have to import them from the next, side of the planet, 12-hour flight, which will anyway not happen very likely. So recruitment is about risk mitigation. People always think in these terms if they review CVs. This is how they think. What you are thinking as a job seeker is about, oh, how can I impress, the interviewer? Yes, you are correct, but this comes later. This does not come at the moment of resume checking. Please, really, this is the most important thing in the mindset when writing a resume. The impressing people part. This comes way later for 99% of people. Obviously, it is different if you're like, yes, Linus Torvalds worked on the Linux kernel. Then, of course, you don't need a resume, man. Then it's like really something different, right? If you really specialize super duper stuff, then it doesn't matter how your resume looks. But we are talking again, I'm talking to the general population of people who want to sell their services for the biggest amount of money. And the way you get there is by applying to many jobs, getting invited to interviews, talking to hiring manager, CEO, blah, 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 and getting the best offer in whatever you like financially or freedom-wise. All right. So no job gaps or job gaps explained. And now come to the, let's say, points. Like if you were promoted, like software engineer, and then a company A, and then you were senior software engineer, also company A. The biggest mistake, it happens in 80% of cases, is to make it similar blocks as if it was a job change. So if it is not, like if you skim the CV and you cannot tell that this is the same company, this is extremely bad. Every recruiter, like 9 out of 10, will not, they will think it's like a job change. Because how it works is, you first read the stuff on the right, usually where the years and the months are. I just already pointed to another important point. Do the duration exactly like LinkedIn does it, like March 2022 until March 2024, 2 years in brackets. This LinkedIn way of displaying durations is the best. Important is highlight the promotions. Because if you make it visually as if this is a company change, actually this is immediately negative. Let's say the job before that, company A is company B, it's like the third last, so like 3 jobs before, and it's 1 year. Then it's like 1 year, 1 year, 1 year of duration. So company B, 1 year, and then the most recent company is company A, it's like 1 year, and then also company A, 1 year. Then it reads like what? It reads like the person had 3 jobs in 3 years. Very bad. But if I read closer, I'll see, oh, this is like 2 companies in 3 years, right? It's like company B, like the last one, and then company A is actually a promotion. It's exactly the opposite. Like a company gave you like a bigger job title. This is like exactly the opposite. So this small stuff, if you do not have these issues, job gaps, like the promotion stuff is clearly highlighted. Your name is like foreign, not foreign, but it's clear that you're like, eligible and can speak the language. You are ahead 99% of people. I am now 16 minutes in the CV. I have not even started talking about how to put the bullet points or what to put there. Can you imagine that? Either I'm a bad explainer or I really, really, really want to make sure you hear this and understand how important this stupid bullshit is. I'm doing this for 10 years. I know it's a stupid bullshit, but it is just what the real world requires. And then I'm number one person of actually delivering what the real world requires. Okay, let's come to the bullet points. Here, obviously, there's like a million ways to do it, and there is no real recipe apart from, yes, make it match the job description. Yeah, this is as simple as that. Like, because you have to actually fulfill two things. You have to satisfy HR recruiters that have no clue what actually the role is really, really about. Unfortunately, this is the reality. And the real technical people that do your job for the last 10 years. So both people, they need to like say yes to the resume. So you have to optimize for completely two distinct audiences. If you manage to do that, you'll be invited to every round. You'll have the opportunity to present yourself and then get the right financial offer at the very end. Again, bye-bye people who say, if you don't make the effort, then don't even, okay, bye. You can continue sitting again on, whatever you else are doing. So this is for people who really like want to optimize for the best result for themselves, for their families, and so on. All right. So the bullet points, like a good bullet point would be like, okay, wrote Python and React to develop an e-commerce solution used by 50 Swiss SMEs, small middle-sized enterprise, that's basically one bullet point, right? Another bullet point would be reduced backend API response time from 500 milliseconds to 100 milliseconds by changing upgrading the whatever frame. Well, this would sound also too like cheap, right? It's like upgrading the framework. You could just leave it at that, right? Or by rewriting the code. So see, it's very hard to actually like really give here advice because I would have to see it to tell you. And obviously it's like if you adapt it to each job, this is like an advice people give, it will be very time consuming. So you can just adjust it for the general job profile you apply for. If it's like backend jobs, then talk about APIs. If it's front-end jobs, then talk about UIs, right? But try to, optimize it. That's actually where recruitment agencies also come in, right? We just had a candidate, the profile completely data science Python, right? If they would apply themselves, then they probably would be ignored. But like we took the candidate and just made a small bullet point list as, okay, this candidate really knows web development in Python, they want to do it, and this is how they got to the interview, right? This is the value add that the recruiters give, that they really look at the candidate, screen them, it's like, aha, this is a fit. If somebody would look at the profile for 2 seconds, they would have been ignored, right? This is the big difference to, let's say, applying to job boards and applying to recruiters, okay? There is also minuses applying to recruiters, but I will talk this on the next show. Let me think if I have anything else on resumes. All right, in Germany, Switzerland, there's usually reference letters, which, employers want. Additionally to the resume, the best is you attach it to the resume itself. So if recruiters ask you for a resume, what they actually want is the resume at the top and the supporting documents below it. What means supporting documents? It means in Germany, Switzerland, Austria, reference letters, where it's common to write a letter which says, this person worked here, they were very good, they, did a good job doing this, doing that. This would be one thing. And in US, for example, certificates, let's say there's a cloud job, so you do cloud development or whatever, then you do AWS certifications or supporting documents that prove that you are really, really skilled or trained in the job that you want to do below that. Or if you're a student junior developer, then you put university stuff, that you degrees or something like that, where it shows they really finished the university. So then people do not need to ask, right? This is the biggest problem recruiters have, they always have to ask for more stuff. Every recruiter will agree. We have to ask like, hey, can you send this? What about that? So please like make it simple for everybody, and make the PDFs, if like your resume is in A4, so it's like A4 format, make the other pages also A4. This is also like, what the hell is this guy talking about? But it is really super important to make it readable, right? So you Google something like A4 PDF resizer, then you find like a website which basically, if you have the certificate, which is usually in like quadratic or like A4 but flipped or something like that, it would like keep the horizontal so people can read it. So don't flip it, because then you have to turn your head to read it. But it would like compress and make like A4 out of it. So people can look the resume, they look at your name, at the last job, what you did in the last 5 years, and they're like, huh, interesting. And then they will actually scroll through to the other stuff. And if there is impressive stuff there, like past employers that have written like one page, this person is awesome, they did cool stuff. This is of course extremely supporting your case and looks extremely positive. All right. Yeah. Footer of the CV, like stuff like, oh yes, I like chess and playing soccer, whatever. If you like putting it, put it, but it's not like, anybody like super duper cares. Alrighty, what else is there? Yeah, if it's like 50 megabyte or something, maybe compress it so it's like below 10. Because like literally there's like legacy software, it will like crash or something. Make it definitely not a picture, so try with your mouse to highlight if you can like copy paste the email address or keywords. People say, yeah, applicant tracking system, they use the keywords to like reject you. I never heard this in my entire life. What, however, does happen is that like the email address or contact details are automatically extracted, so you make the life for the recruiter easier if it's like a readable PDF, which means you can use your mouse to make the font blue, like by selecting it. That would be basically it. So if you follow these tips, you're literally ahead of 99% of people. And with that, I wish you a good day and yeah, a good night, maybe. Bye-bye.